What's going on, Kid Zone team? There are two main things that I want to quickly update you on. The first one being our weekly team meetings that we're going to have before service starts, and then also what I'd like to do to enhance the worship experience in Kid Zone. So let's start with the team meetings. What I would like to do is when we have the countdown clock on and kids are preparing to go to their seats, when there's 1 minute left, 60 seconds, I'd like for all of the small group leaders, everyone wearing a Kid Zone shirt, to meet in the back by the bathrooms and the electrical panels, and I'm going to do a quick 90-second gathering of everybody. It's very important that we all are there and on time for that. So I'll get on the microphone probably when there's a minute and a half left before kids have to get to their seats, and I'll call everyone back at that time. What I'd like for you to do is kind of separate yourself from your position, shut down the moonwalk and all those things, and we'll get the kids to begin to move to their seats. And we'll probably have one person designated to get on the microphone and do the introduction, one person stay in the tech booth, but everybody else, I'd like to gather you together, and I just want to share three quick things in that meeting. The first thing is going to be, what's our win for the day? What are we all focusing on? The second thing is going to be a story of someone's life that was impacted, a story of the one within the children's ministry. And then the third thing is going to be a challenge for the day. It literally is going to take about 90 seconds if we get everybody there on time. But I need you all to be very attentive to be able to gather there very quickly. I want everyone to make sure that you make that a priority to be there. We won't spend a lot of time, but that's just going to be our quick touch point to make sure we're all on the same page and that we know what's happening for the day and how we're really rowing together to accomplish the same purpose. It's not going to be a meeting of a lot of details. It's just going to be very quickly going through those three things. The other thing I want to talk about is worship. I've noticed over the last few weeks and even months that our worship experience at times has felt a little bit lacking. The reason for that is not because of the people on stage or anything like that. It just seems like the kids are starting to disengage. This is something that I see as a cycle that happens pretty much every year. Kids just start to get a little bit relaxed with the worship experience, and it's the same thing. So when that happens, I always want to provide some level of boost to the worship experience. And the way that I like to do that is by keeping things fresh. So if we do the same thing over and over again, kids always are going to disengage. They know what to expect. They know what's going to happen. So there's a need to do something to just re-engage their imagination. So let me talk about what worship is and what my goal is for worship. I want, number one, for during the fast songs, for kids to have an amazing time. I want it to feel like a party. It doesn't have to be this really somber time where everybody's 100% focused on everything that's going on. During those fast songs, I want it to feel more like a dance party than a traditional church service where everybody is following the instructions from the person up front. I want kids to have a blast. If we can teach kids that being in God's presence is a lot of fun, I think we're doing really, really well. And that's my goal for the fast songs. The slow songs, I want that to be our time where we truly do slow everything down and we teach kids about respecting God's presence and how to give all of your attention to God during that time. So over the next few weeks, I've been working with Pastor Sarah and Sean on developing a plan to just recapture the kids' imagination during that time. So we're going to do some different things. You may have seen how we did this a couple times with Worship Four Corners. We basically played a game of Four Corners while we did worship. Kids had a blast, and at the same time, it felt like a party. Kids were celebrating God's presence, and it was a lot of fun. So as we move forward, we're going to do some different things. The main thing we've been talking about is doing our first song, our first fast song with some type of theme. So, for example, we talked about doing like a beach theme where the worship leaders come out in Hawaiian shirts and sunglasses, and we throw a bunch of beach balls out into the crowd, and kids slap them around during that first song. Then after that first song, we would go back into our slow time of worship and refocus the kids' attention on the presence of God. Or maybe we'll do some creative things during the slow song where kids go to different areas and are engaged in worship. But my goal is to get kids up out of their seats and thinking about what's going on for worship, whether it be a party feel or a time to show total respect for God's presence. I want to do some different stuff to re-engage kids' attention in that. So over the next few weeks, Sean's going to be sending some things out specifically to the worship leaders to give them instruction on how we can do that. But I want everyone to be aware of how that's going to happen. So 2 changes that we're going to have is, number one, that pre-service meeting that's going to happen 60 seconds before the kids have to be in their seats. And the second thing is updating some of the worship experience with some creative elements. Looking forward to this weekend. I will see you all very soon.